right, welcome back to the News XC voter exit poll for Uttar Pradesh. As you'll see on your screen in just a moment, the Samajwadi Party taking the lead in the state, followed by the BSP, then the BJP, the surprisingly strong, showing us 83 seats in our exit poll, and the Congress trailing way behind. Let's go across to Sanjay Bhatnagar from UNI, who's with us in our Lucknow studios. Explain to us, Sanjay, the Rahul Gandhi magic failed. Akhilesh Yadav seems to have done well for his party. Nitin Gadkari and the BJP have done well. But Rahul Gandhi seemingly falling flat on his face, at least for now.
Yes, if we go by the, please allow me to say that I don't believe these exit polls totally, but let us take it as a broader reference. So it seems that the magic of Rahul did not work. That is for certain. And moreover, the emergence of Akhilesh, that is rather surprising, because Akhilesh is seen standing with Rahul Gandhi as a competitor. This is very surprising. And the number of seats projected for Congress, that is a very low figure. And of course, the strategy of Nitin Gadkari worked out, because the way he faced all the criticism of taking Babu Singh Kushwaha, backward votes seem to be getting in BJP's kitty, and then the factor, Uma Bharti factor,
yeah,
he
so
very
that was the game changer.
Projected her.
Okay, that was the game changer. Let me quickly go across to Brajmohan Singh, who's a resident editor of the Dainik Bhaskar, who joins us from Chandigarh. Mr. Brajmohan Singh, where does this leave Rahul Gandhi? Where do these results leave Rahul Gandhi?
If you talk about Uttar Pradesh, Rahul Gandhi has been campaigning there for last 4 years, not just 1 year. He has been there campaigning in Uttar Pradesh. But if we talk about Punjab, yes, Punjab he has done well. If Congress party comes to power and if he gets around 65 seats, which has been projected, he is fine, his party is fine. But if you talk about Uttar Pradesh, he has failed drastically. He had failed in Tamil Nadu, he had failed in Bihar. So very tough time for Rahul Gandhi.
No, but put it in perspective for us on a national stage, because here is a politician who is actually saying that he is not interested in the Prime Minister's job. In fact, he said the dream job for him would be the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Obviously, he's overplayed his assessment.
Some days ago, Sri Prakash Jaiswal, he talked about Rahul Gandhi that he can become Prime Minister any day. But I remember one quote from Nitish Kumar. He had challenged Rajiv Gandhi that first you become the Chief Minister, then you think about becoming Prime Minister. So becoming Chief Minister is more difficult, that we all know. On that front, he had taken Mayawati directly. On that front, in Uttar Pradesh, he has failed. So I think for Rahul Gandhi, challenge will be from within the party, from within the Gandhi Parivar also.
Okay, well,
because
let me ask
Priyanka Gandhi is there.
Let me ask Kalyani Shankar this. Is it just a simple matter of the BJP and the SP, outplaying Rahul Gandhi and the Congress? I mean, ultimately, politics is a chess game of numbers, and maybe the calculations just went wrong on Rahul Gandhi's side. When we look at what the BJP has done, it brought back, I should say, Uma Bharti. It brought in Sanjay Joshi, even though that meant, turning off some of the other leaders in the party like Narendra Modi. The embrace of Kushwaha, deeply troubling to many. The media was all over the BJP for this, but it's paid the party dividends at the polls. Maybe Rahul Gandhi, well-meaning as he is, as he's seen to be, just made the wrong calculations. Maybe he just lacks the political acumen and depth that it takes to win a state like Uttar Pradesh.
Well, you see, all the others like SP, BSP, even BJP, they all have their committed voters. Congress doesn't have any committed voters. He was trying to run after the MBC, and even sometimes upper caste has gone back to BJP. So the Congress problem is there is no committed voters, and he was looking at the youth. Youth probably has not come, and he was looking at the new voters who are about 1,68 lakhs.
But Kalyani, if I can ask you, is that too vague? That's what I was trying to get at, that, when you look at the grassroots, did he have the right candidates? Did he go after the right subcasts and the right subgroups? Is this just seems too amorphous and too sort of kumbaya, let's stand around a campfire and speak optimistically of the future and the nation and states, young people will come out and vote for us. It doesn't work that way, does it?
No, it doesn't work that way, and also congressmen must be telling him when you go and speak, people will come and vote for you, he will change the magic, Rahul magic, all that. But actually what they have done while the distribution, first they had announced some seats. So in Congress they never announced seats earlier, and this time they have announced 6 months ago. All the candidates, announced candidates, opponents got together and then they were trying to defeat it. It happens in the case of many of the important candidates. And the second thing is that he had allowed Beni Prasad Verma, who had just come yesterday, and also Rashid Alvi and Rashid Masood. And you know, people like that, those who have come from outside, they have been given a free hand. So that is a way that they have stopped.
Correct. Overemphasis on Beni Prasad Verma.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got defectors into the party. Every
So
third
you are
candidate was a
right,
defector.
No, we've got Nawab Kazim Ali to respond to that. Nawab Kazim Ali, respond to that. Was there an overemphasis on Beni Prasad Verma? Also, I want to ask you another question. Later on in the campaign, Rahul Gandhi came out and said we're going to sit in opposition. We might even go in for president's rule here. Did that have an effect? Did that put off the voter?
Yeah, well, not really. I think it was more local issues and more image of the candidates that played a major role here. Because I came from another party myself, but my election, you know, it's totally different to what I've been hearing the panelists talking, you know, so it's not really on the issues of on the state, on a general platform. It's more localized. So I think that in every constituency, it was an individual configuration of various issues, and not really, it wasn't a general issue that will make a party get maximum number of seats. There were a lot of factors which played an important role.
So give us an example of that. For example, where you were campaigning, when you went out, what were the things voters were resonating with or looking at from candidates?
Well, for me, it was my campaign was totally on infrastructure development, communal harmony, and basically, you know, I've won 3 elections from the same constituency, and ironically, from all 3 different parties. So it wasn't really a party that was being looked at. It was more on an individual level.
I think infrastructure and communal harmony are as overarching issues as you can find in India. So it's sort of, I'm not sure that's the best example.
Whatever, I may be a classical example. I may be a classical example of winning a seat also from every party.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just go back to something Ijaz Ilmi was talking about, which is really the rivalry between all the parties. The BJP and the Congress, the BJP and the Congress, not even announcing or out, you know, clearly pointing to their chief ministerial candidates. Such was the sort of rivalry and the politicking within the parties. How much of a factor, Ijaz Ilmi, do you think this was that went against these 2 parties and helped the SP and the BSP?
You know, obviously, Congress is a classical example of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory in most places, like the Indian cricket team. So even in this situation, there were too many aspirants. The BJP anyway had too many aspirants. But the fact is, the voter of UP is smart enough to understand that they voted Mayawati last time, but she was in the polar position to replace Mulayam Singh. At the same time, this time they knew if Mayawati has to be removed, which I foresaw a little bit earlier, that they will vote against. They're quiet now, but if they wanted Mayawati out, who else but somebody who can govern the state? And elections polling is done for a government formation primarily. So
Okay.
they vote, that's why the Samajwadi Party is going to will be the leading party by a large number.
Okay, we'll go across to Mr. Kamal Farooqui, who joins us. But let me quickly bring in Mr. Kazim Ali Khan, because he made a point. You talked about your own campaign being centered around development issues. Well, Rahul Gandhi talked about development, but talked about it, many people say, in very patronizing terms,
right.
leaning back on quotas as the only via media for development of one particular community. And that seems to have been, perhaps somewhere along the line, the overcalculation.
No, I don't think so. I don't agree with that because his what he said in his campaign trail on development, it didn't target one major community. It targeted people in general, and it's just that the media played it that way because there was a few statements made by him early on, so everything was linked together and clubbed together, and they said that
Sanjay Kaul,
all these proposals are just for one community, but that's not really the case. It was for people in general.
Sanjay Kaul.
No, I think I'd say there was no over-calculation, just plain desperation. You also saw them making different, you see, the development plank was used first, then it was abandoned, then it was turned into a communal sort of a provocative communal sort of incentive, then they abandoned that, and then they got into a tiff with the SP over who could actually deliver these promises. So you see what we had was, and I would also like to address the earlier point that you know the Congress started working from a very low level of you know a benchmark, and that Rahul did very well. Look, when you strategize, you know, you take into account all the things that you have. That's the SWOT analysis you do. So you know it has to be very, very silly to think that you know you will go and basically promise them the moon when everybody knows you can't deliver it. Also, I think it's highly you know childish to imagine that the voter today is as let's say naive to believe you when you promise the moon. So I think what really happened is they looked at the dance, the drama, and then they just went out and did the right thing.
Okay, I want to just quickly, before I take a break, bring in Mr. Farooqi on that point from the Samajwadi Party. Mr. Farooqi, Sanjay Kaul of the BJP says that it was desperation, quota politics, desperation. You tried to trump Rahul Gandhi on his quota pronouncement. It hasn't really gained the Samajwadi Party anything really substantive, at least not the majority it was seeking.
No. Rahul, whatever actually we did it, and you kindly go through our manifesto also.
Yes.
We are totally committed to this, and what Congress was saying was absolutely absurd, and they were trying to fool the masses. In fact, the steps which they could have taken 5 years ago, they just took 1.5 days before. So people understood it very clearly, and as far as we are concerned, we have committed that we will implement Ranganathan Commission and Sachar Committee. People have understood it, and the kind of emotive issues which they brought in, and then they withdrew. The kind of whole drama which was played by 5 main actors. In fact, the people understood it very clearly as to what the Congress game plan was. And the other thing is, I personally feel, and I personally
we'll get Nawab Kazim Ali to respond to that after this short break.
Just one thing that I personally feel. The kind of statement which they made about the president rule, I think that has sent the good signal to the people that no more threatening like this.
That has really been hurt because he was chairman of the Minority Commission for 5 years.
No, don't talk personal. Let us not talk personal.
No, we are coming back to this point.
Let us not talk personal. Let us talk about Mr. Kazim. I have been hearing you quite a long time.
We'll come back to this point.
Come back to the point, Mr. Kazim. Let us not talk personally
on that issue.
Come back to the point.
Come back to the problems with the Congress. So he harps on that because he always has these problems on a personal level.
Okay, Nawab Kazim Ali and Mr. Farooqi, please hold your thoughts. Please hold your thoughts. I need to quickly come in here. We need to take a break. Quickly, we need to quickly take a break. We're going to come back to you shortly on this particular point. Mr. Farooqi.
In the state, actually, you should be there locally.
We're taking a break on this point. Nawab Kazim Ali, we are coming back to you in just about 2 minutes. Stay with us.